Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and this is a kind of a response video to a conversation that I had on, I have two videos talking about these Balisongs. This would be the third tabletop, I guess you can say. I'm doing a tabletop because it deserves a tabletop. I'm also doing it because of this conversation, and I want to address some of the talking points in this conversation. So if anybody else is thinking this but didn't bother type in the comment, your questions will be answered. The person that I talked to, I don't think really got the point of this product. He kept on making comments about it sounded cheap, and it is cheap, and it's small ninja, and it's a bad flipper and stuff. And so I had a conversation with this person, and basically I said, well, it's not designed to be a flipper, in which he designed, and I claim that it's not designed to be a flipper because it's double-edged, has serrations on both sides, which makes it very uncomfortable to flip, especially when you're doing horizontals and stuff, and you're probably not going to want to do any kind of chaplains or anything like that. But my argument is that it's not a flipper, it's a weapon because it's double-edged. And he said, well, that's a major safety concern. He said, one, why would you make a Balisong that's not a good flipper? And I referenced some other companies who make non-flipping Balisongs, like Benchmade and ProTech. And he said it was a safety concern. I said, not really. I mean, it does take a little bit more skill to manipulate a double-edged Balisong, but I said that's one of the benefits of a Balisong is that you can carry a double-edged knife in your pocket safely. That's why Balisongs were kind of famous, is that you can have a double-edged knife and open it relatively quickly and keep it in your pocket. Double-edged Balisongs is not like a foreign concept or a new concept. It's a relatively old concept. And he said, well, if it's a weapon, then why why have a all plastic weapon? And I said it's for carrying in non-weapon friendly areas, which he countered. Well, there's that doesn't make logical sense because Balisongs are illegal in most places, and which I said in Texas they're not illegal, and in most, or not most, but a lot of states are now legalizing switchblades. Like I get emails about this all the time, that those laws and bills being placed to legalize them. So they're becoming more and more legal and more politically correct. But I also want to point out, I didn't point this out in the comment because I didn't want to type a whole essay, but some people just don't care about the law. Some people are like, you know what? I care enough about my family that I want to keep something on me to defend my family, and whatever happens to me legally happens, but my family's going to be okay. And some people are like that. Keep in mind, the law only applies to people who obey it. And what I mean by that is you'll get punished for breaking the law, but the law doesn't necessarily keep you from doing things. It just guarantees that there will be a punishment for those things, ideally. So that's my point I was making. And in my video I talked about that this would be something that you would carry to a concert, an amusement park, something, maybe a bar. And keep in mind that, and I have a basic criminal justice background. I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on any of this. But I don't think knives are necessarily illegal to carry at a concert or an amusement park or a bar. In fact, in Texas, the law states you can't carry a knife over 5.5 inches in a bar. These places have metal detectors. They might frisk you. There's a good possibility that it's not illegal to bring a knife in there. It's just against private policy. So if I want to go into a concert and everything. It might not be illegal for me to bring a knife, but it just might be frowned upon. So therefore, I want to bring a knife that will not show up on the metal detector. But you know, he started calling it Mall Ninja stuff, and I think a lot of these people have a problem with Lynn, not necessarily the products, because I have had very good experience with the products. I've had some bad experiences with the products, and the company has treated me fairly well. You know, so far with most of the products from Cold Steel, they work as advertised. And I would say the same is true for these Balisongs. They're $12. They're designed to stab, and in our testing, we know they can saw through stuff, or saw through meat. So they have a cutting capability, they have a stabbing capability. You can use them as a pocket stick or a Kubotan. They work as advertised, and in my opinion, you can't ask a product to do more than what is advertised. Doesn't mean it won't happen, doesn't mean you can't find a product that exceeds expectations, but you can't like give a bad review to a product for working as it's advertised to work. So and there was the argument that under stress you lose 50% of your motor skills or skills in general, and this can be a training issue, but I like what James Williams says. If you're being chased by a lion, are you going to run 50% slower than you would if you weren't being chased by a lion? He says, no, you're going to run as fast as you physically can to escape that lion, which is useless because you can't outrun a lion, but that was the metaphor he used. And yes, a Balisong is more difficult to deploy, but it's kind of a training issue. I dropped it. But yes, it's a training issue. But also keep in mind that I'm not going to say most, but not all self-defense situations are a quick draw situation. And I'll use this example. I think this is the best example I can come up with. If you're in a convenience store and someone's holding the clerk at gunpoint robbing the convenience store, and you feel you have the need to intervene, you don't have to get the knife out as quickly as possible. You can actually take your time to get the knife out, sneak up on the guy, shank him, and the situation's over. I would not recommend this to be your primary weapon in everyday life, but that just illustrates that you don't need a super fast knife or a super fast weapon to defend precious life. So you can actually, in some situations, open it up like that and then use it. And here's another example. You know, people complain about the Balisong being too slow or not easy to use in a stressful situation. Again, I think that's a training issue. If you have basic Balisong skills and you have a good Balisong, I think it's pretty consistent, but doesn't mean things can't screw up. But a good thing to point out, and I think I have a video demonstrating this, is the Emerson Karambit, the Emerson Combat Karambit. One of the best Emerson or one of the best karambits you can get. And I have had that thing fail to deploy on me several times. Not when I was just relaxed and pulling it out of my pocket. When I was relaxed pulling it out of my pocket, you know, I used proper technique and the knife would deploy almost all the time. But me and my brother, and we have a video of us practicing quick drawing, and I would try to, you know, grab the knife and pull it out as quickly as possible. That's when the knife failed to open on me. And it's because I was pulling it straight up and not out. You have to cant the knife out a little bit to pull it open so the wave can catch on the pocket. So just grabbing it and trying to pull it out as quickly as possible, that knife failed to open on me several times. But never when I was just relaxed, okay, I need to get my knife. Ching! Yeah, you know, it came open. So even a knife as simple as the Emerson Combat Karambit, Lionel Lock, has an opening hole, it has a waving system. If you want to pull it open in the reverse grip, it tends to fail. And it's a very simple knife with a simple mechanism. So just because this takes a little bit of more skill doesn't mean something simple can't screw up on you. So this thing works as advertised. It cuts, or it does saw cuts, it does thrusting capabilities. It's non-metallic. I think the thing we need to remember is that this thing costs $12. It's not Excalibur, and it shouldn't be expected to be Excalibur. So that's it. That's the review. I am still a big fan of this, and if you want to close out the video right now, you can, but I'm going to tell a quick, interesting story about this. And it's probably not going to be entertaining to you, but me and my brother will really appreciate it. And that is that when this was first announced, because it was coming out with it, I told my brother, I'm going to buy you one, I'm going to buy myself one. I'm just going to give it to you as a gift for no apparent reason. I'm just going to get this for you because, I appreciate you. So we did that. This came out, I bought 2 of them, gave one to my brother, and I kept one. And then our birthday came, and my brother's fiance, my future sister-in-law, gave us both one. She bought 2 of them to give the both of us, and she was a little bit disappointed. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I dropped the ball. I didn't know he got you one." And my brother's like, "Don't be sorry." He's like, "I'm impressed that you realize that we're interested in this." He's like, "I'm impressed that you knew that this is something that we liked and it was interested in." He's like, I'm very happy. And he's like, "Now I have 2 of them." So I told my future sister-in-law that I'm going to do a video of me dual wielding these. And they're not good flippers for a few reasons. Number 1 being that it has double edges. Number 2 is extremely lightweight. But I'm going to try to be able to double wield these and show her that I can flip 2 of them at the same time. And again, for those of you who think that Balisongs are toys and they're not weapons or useful tools, keep in mind that both Benchmade and ProTech has made Balisongs that were not intended to be flipped. So, just keep that in mind. These were tools and weapons before they became toys. So that's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.